Wow. So we are trying to tell a totally different story from the blind man himself. Now, one question that I wanted us to highlight on
Yes.
was the first time that you met your adopted parents.
All right.
Could you tell us a story about that?
Oh, good. These were missionaries who came all the way from Hawaii, and I was here in the school for the blind. I was tagged as the poorest student in school. Now, being poor and blind is crazy. So, while I was here in school, the missionaries started coming in, of course, from different countries, from Canada, from the US and England, and all that. But this specific couple that came from Hawaii were the ones that God had predestined to be my adopted parents. Because now the woman, the wife to the missionary, the first time they came to school, I was seated somewhere. I was this kind of kid who was very quiet and to myself, So I would always be seated alone, maybe at some corner, daydreaming and thinking about great things I would have in the future, like big cars, a big home, and yeah. And so it was during this church service that we always had in school every Sunday. So one of those Sundays, the couple came in and they started preaching. They were the guests. And now the man is preaching at the pulpit, and the lady, his wife now, is seated at the guests area. There are those seats reserved for the visitors.
guests.
Yes. So she was there seated, and we are singing and fellowshipping, and she walked right to where I was seated and sat next to me. I was seated alone on a big bench, so she came and gave me company and started being, the way white people behave with children, touching you all the time, giving you candies, and the church service is going on. And I'm like, hey, what's up with this lady, So then, after the service, she held my hand and walked with me out and talked to the husband, a lot of English, which maybe I could not understand by that time. And they came the next Sunday and the next and the next. And it was very, very evident that they were always, after the service, taking me out, giving me food in their car, and letting me go. And the other kids would ask me, hey, those white people really love you. What did you give them, And so, yeah, one time the schools were closed, and I was this kid who could stay in school for maybe 2 weeks after the closure before someone comes to pick me up.
Oh.
Yes. Sometimes I would just stay in school for the entire holiday period. So yeah, depending on the staff to give me food, sometimes no one remembers that guy is in the dormitory, so that day could pass like that. So they came to check on some project they were doing in the school, and the woman shouted, the wife to the missionary, shouted, oh, my friend is still around, How come you haven't gone home, man? Then I was there just shy and saying, oh yeah, I'm still here. And she talked to the teachers, one of the teachers who was on duty by that time, if they could have me for the holidays, And the teacher told her that, well, just talk to the head teacher and see if they can accept. And the head teacher gave them my story and said, yeah, this young man, this school is like his home. We are the ones hosting him. So it would be really nice if you took him for the holidays, because then he'll also get a chance to have fun and enjoy himself, take some break off the stay in school, And yeah, finally they took me. That was the first time I was taken to stay in a white man's house. But, the feeling was not as many would think it was. Because most people would be like, oh, it was exciting. It was the best thing,
It should be.
Yes, it should be, like many people think. So for me, I was worried when I was told that now tomorrow they're coming to pick you up. I started crying and praying that, Lord, send someone to come and pick me tomorrow, even an uncle, because I had heard stories that these people eat frogs and
Oh my God.
and all those things, you know. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, am I going to eat frogs? Hey, and insects. Oh my goodness, you
Uh-huh.
know. And these are new people. They speak English all the time.
Yeah.
I want someone who would speak to me, you know, in Swahili or some
Yeah.
local language. You know?
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm not going. So I prayed that night. If there is the first prayer I did, the most powerful prayer I did for the first time was that of asking God to bring someone to come pick me up from school.
Oh wow.
So I may not go to the white man, you know.
Goodness.
So the next morning, I woke up and took a shower and was ready. And I told God, I'm sure you are sending my uncle here. That's full stop, you know. So trust you me. My uncle arrived at 9 a.m.
Oh my
before
goodness.
the white man.
Wow.
And I said, yes, that's why now I'll serve you, God, forever, you know.
Such faith.
So that my uncle was traveling from Nairobi and he arrives in Kisumu and something hits him. Oh, my nephew is here. Let me branch to the school, go pick him up so we can go home together. That's what he told me, you know, like I was traveling and I remembered you are here. So I said, oh yeah, I was even praying and asking that, you know, you would come and pick me up.
Wow.
So the uncle came and I quickly prepared myself
Yeah.
because I didn't want anyone to notice I'm about to leave, you know. So we are ready, we are leaving, walking towards the gate, then someone shouts behind us, hey, Baba Mandela, what's up? That was the school's chaplain.
Oh.
So he was shouting and asking us to go back. So we went, he was beckoning my uncle so we can go back. So we were there. He told my uncle, this guy has not told you there's something, you know, he has gotten a sponsor. Yeah? In fact, he should be going to the US anytime from now. I'm like, he hasn't told you. The uncle is, no, yes, those people are coming to pick him up today. In fact, they are maybe just a few minutes away. And I'm like, okay, hey, these people now. So I just burst in tears again, you know. And they tried calming me down there and telling me to relax, everything will be okay. My uncle is telling me, you know, you don't have good clothes. These people are going to buy for you shoes and all that. The sweet things you tell children, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. So I totally refuted.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not going. I have to go home.
Wow.
So I think these people talked in sign language. Some sign, they signaled each other so they can get me settled, you know. So my uncle said, well, let me go talk to the head teacher and tell him that my son is not going anywhere.
Okay.
I'm going with my son home.
So he
and that's
sided with
period.
you.
Yes. So just sit here, Baba. Let me go talk to that head teacher. We are going home, okay?
Okay.
All right. That's when I stopped crying. And the uncle went and went.
Oh.
Until now, I'm still waiting for him to come pick me up.
Oh goodness, that's
Yes.
so funny.
So I was there seated. The chaplain is telling me, hey, and this uncle, why he's taking so long? What are they saying with the head teacher? I can see him. Yeah, they're talking. I think they're almost done. So I was there. He told me, what you do, go to the dormitory, take some nap, because I think they're having a really serious conversation that might not end now. So once they're done, we'll come for you, okay? I said, all right. I went to the dormitory and relaxed and waited for my uncle. The next thing I heard was a hoot of a car.
Oh my goodness.
And some screaming, Mandela! You know, like these people are here, what's up?
Wow.
But yeah, since childhood, I've always learned to contain myself during challenging circumstances. So I wouldn't really show my emotions to them, that I don't want to be with them. So they came and hugging me and happy, you know. And I'm also there pretending like everything is all right, you know. But in my heart, I know I'm going to look for a way to get out of this place. you know. So quickly they picked my bag. Is this your bag? Yes. And pushed me into the car, you know, and we were out and went to they were staying in Kisumu by that time, in Milimani. So we stayed there for the holidays.
Yeah.
And the first 1 week was crazy. I was always in my room because they showed me a place which was my room. And so I was there, you know, just seated, listening to music. And, you know, the music is playing in the sitting room, but I'm here in the bedroom trying to listen. And also just meditating on how I could run away or come up with an excuse or some story, you know, that they may let me go home. So the third day, staying with them now, the third day, the mama comes to my room and says, "Hi Mandela, we are going out today and we want to buy for you something. What would you like us to buy for you?" And I said, "Oh, well, I'm okay." I think that's everything I used to tell them all the time. I'm okay. Because I didn't even know much of English. Like, I'm okay. Do you like, maybe we give you more food? I'm okay. Should we go buy you something? I'm okay. Yeah, so I was Mr. I'm okay. So then they said, "We are buying you a radio, a small radio with earphones, so you could be listening to it in your room." I don't know who told them that I loved music and radios and what, you know. So that day I had my radio and I'm like, "Oh, this is the best place." Hey, who would have bought me a radio? You know? So that was the first thing, the first gift to be bought for a radio. And the next thing they bought for me was a bicycle. I know you're wondering how I would ride that. But I'll ask them to send me a video they still have the video of how I was riding a bike while I was, you know, growing up and still blind, you know. So that was one of the wonders of riding the blind man on the pedals. So yes, and the second week I had already adapted and really comfortable, and I wouldn't want to hear anything to do with going home. And yes, this was home.
You
finally
have found your new home now.
This was home.
Oh wow.
So the next holiday they come for me again, and the third, and like that. So finally we went home and all the processes were done, you know, the court processes and those legal things. And yeah, finally that's how I got them as parents. And the major thing that I would say that they have done to my life is to expose me to the world and to also have me live with an open mind in everything that I do, you know. Yes.
If there's any person I've ever met who's so open-minded, it has to be Mandela. So one other question, what's this one thing that has happened in your life that's made you feel like you were treated unfairly?
Okay. There are a lot of things that have happened to me that made me feel crazy or maybe feel out, like I'm not equal, you know, to the rest of the world or the people around me. But now that you just need one, I'll give one that's really exemplary. So I was staying somewhere because, of course, as you work and you move to different places, you have to rent a house and live. And just like any other person, be in your house, have your independence and your freedom and all that without any questions. So there's this place I rented somewhere, and I had a really nice landlady who was staying at the same place. But one crazy thing, which was to me crazy, but for her I think it was like one of her good gestures. Something she felt she was doing out of a good heart, but hurt me. You know, it was from a good heart, but hurting to someone. So she used to bring me food daily. The first, I could say, 2 weeks that I stayed in her house, she used to bring me food. You know, I was renting one of her houses there in the apartment. She gave me food daily. She could send her daughter to bring food. But that didn't really go well with me, because I started asking myself, then what's the reason for having the sufurias, the cooking pans and pots, the saucepans and the gas cooker and all those things I have, the plates. Why do I have them in the kitchen? Shouldn't I be cooking? Shouldn't I be, doing things normally? So I thought of telling her to stop bringing me food, but I thought that would be rude because she would be like, I'm trying to help this guy,
Yeah.
but he's telling me to stop. Why? So the best thing I thought to do was to avoid her, that silent and polite dismissal. So most of the time I would be so busy the whole day. I come back at 10 p.m. and my house was closed and locked. So yeah, locked. And then so she would have no chance to bring me food, So that happened for like a week.
Wow.
She's not seeing me for like a week.
A whole week.
Yes, I'm so busy. And even when I'm not busy, I'm busy. So the last day she called me, that 7th day, that, hey, Gaia, where are you? I'm in town in some meeting, and that's 9 p.m. in the night. I'm in some meeting, so I'll be back. Okay, do we keep for you food? No, don't worry, I'll come back and see what to do. Okay, all right. So the next day, when she came into my house, now during the day, she told me, oh, yesterday we wanted to give you food, but you are not around. So, we felt bad, And I told her, no, you don't have to worry. In fact, today I'll be the one cooking for you. I think I should cook for you. Because I bought my cooker, and so I'm good to go. So you're sure you can cook? Yes.
So you offered to cook for them?
Yes, I offered to cook for the family and for myself.
Yeah.
And so she said, all right, we'll be waiting to taste that food. We can't wait. So finally she was there waiting, and in the evening I was up and running in my kitchen making some delicious food for them, And the daughter came, and now they had me on their schedule. At least once in a week I would cook for them.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I would also look forward to tasting that food if I were them,
Welcome. That is the Gaia cuisine.
Wow.
Yes, in fact, we are planning to have a restaurant where we have blind cooks, blind waiters, blind waitresses, and yes.
That's a brilliant idea there.
Sure, yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about love life. So how's love for a blind person? Are you single? Are you married? Yeah, let us know.